Hey, it's Biddy Penny. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to kill this paper pad. It's from 2014. It's time. So this is a quintessential birthday themed paper pad. And by the time I'm done here, we'll have 24 birthday cards. They're all going to be a step card, but I have a lot of variations for you. So right now, I'm going to take each page out and I'm going to separate it into directional and non-directional. Now, I did have two cut apart sheets. This one was a really funky one to cut out, but I did it. And that way, if I have them separated in piles between directional and non-directional, it just makes the cutting hack easier when I get to it. Okay, guys, so this hack was born out of a video that I watched from Shiny Silver Treasures. And I will leave it linked below, but I'm going to reference her video a little bit here as I go. Now, this is the 2 pages of cut aparts. I went ahead and cut all these apart, and then I'm coming in and just kind of rounding corners. I'll be making them look like tags or tickets and just getting all of my cut aparts ready. So I definitely did this in a mask making style, doing each step as I went. So I separated all my paper. I got all my cutouts done. I'm using a hole punch here to make this look more like a ticket. A lot of the ephemera looks like tickets in this collection. So I really like the edge that a hole punch will give a ticket. And then what I'm going to do is put all of this to the side. I brought in some Dollar Tree stickers and an old Doodlebug pack that I need to use up. My daughter helped me. She picked out a lot that she wanted. Let's get into the card bases. There's a lot here. Okay, so that was just a branding strip. This is a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. I'm going to cut it down to 4 1/4 by 12. Now here I kind of scored before I had it the length that I wanted, so I scored at 5 1/2, but you should have this at 11. So there we go. So now this is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2 and 2 3/4. So I'm going to fold and bend just to get my score lines nice and neat. Okay, this is half of our step card, okay? So, you know, pattern paper is not always that thick. So you really need 2 pieces to make your card base. So here I cut this down to 4 1/4 by 11 again. Now this piece I'm only going to score at 5 1/2. And this is the tip that Shiny Silver Treasures showed, and I thought it was brilliant. So let me tell you, she made 6 by 6 cards, and I love 6 by 6 cards, but they cost more to ship here in the States, and I didn't want a whole bulk of cards that cost more to ship. I just wanted some that I could easily pop in an envelope anytime I needed and send them out. Or if I'm going to give them as a gift, somebody else can do that. So there you saw me tape and glue the step piece into the base. And what that did is make it so much more sturdy. And now it stands up beautifully. I also put a piece that was 4 by 5 1/4 on the inside. Okay, so now this is a directional paper. You may have a directional paper that you really want to use. So I'm making an A7 here with this one. So I cut it at 10 and 7. On the 10-inch side, I'm going to score this one at 5. Okay, so basically right now I have a 5 by 7 card base. All right, put that to the side. Now the scraps from the other one, always keep your scraps. I keep every piece. I even kept the branding strips until I was done. This is my favorite way. You've got a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. You cut it to 7 by 12 and you have a 5 by 12. Then you cut the 7 by 12 to 10 and score at 5, and you score at 2 1/2. Okay, so this is you will get so many cards out of one 12 by 12 pack if you cut your cards like this. You'll have two different sizes, mind you. You'll have a 5 by 7 and you'll have an A2, but they both cost the same to ship. So in a 5 by 7, there's just, I really like the space you get with a 5 by 7. So here I'm showing you. So we're going to glue this. I used a little bit of ATG, but then I also used my glue because A2G, I'm telling you guys, here in Texas at least, it does not hold a card together alone. I guess with the humidity and stuff, you've really got to reinforce it with some glue. But there we go. So that is totally reinforced, and I do the back as well. So this is the 5 by 12 that was left over. I cut it to 4 1/4, then I cut it to 11. Now I'm scoring it at 5 1/2 and 2 3/4. I really liked that this was single-sided paper. You could do this with double-sided paper, but you'd have to be much more mindful of directional patterns and things like that. So this is definitely a great hack for all your American crafts and just all your paper pads that are single-sided. Okay, I wanted the horizontal stripes, or wanted the stripes to go horizontal on my card. So I'm taking this 12 by 12 sheet and I'm cutting it to 10. Then now I'm going to cut it to 7, right? And I'm going to have these two big pieces left over. Okay, now I'm going to score at 5. So depending on your paper, you know, cutting at 7 first may not work for you, or you'll have to turn it different ways. So just think of those kinds of things before you slice it. I want to show you that not all your step cards have to have the same size of steps to card base. So this one was a scrap. I just cut it down to 10. Then I scored at 5 and 2 1/2. And now with this one, what I did is I put a 2-inch strip down at the bottom. Not that you can see that now. And I reinforced the back, and it is very strong. It's just as strong as all the others. So I wanted to show you this because this is a great way to use up your scraps as you're cutting. And I think it makes, you know, for even more interesting design when you go to decorate. And like I said, once I get it fully reinforced, it stands up and is extremely sturdy. Okay, 12 by 12, cut to 7. Now you have this, a 7 by 12 and a 5 by 12. Cut it, the 7 by 12 at 10, score at 5. And now I've got all these extra bases. You can see I've got lots of scraps. This one I decided I would do in the center. It's already at 10, so I just need to score it at 5 and 2 1/2. So this was that scrap from the horizontal paper I wanted. So not all is lost. If you really want a certain direction, don't feel like, oh, I'm going to lose another card base cutting it like this, because you can still get lots of usage out of that paper. I had so much fun. It was really, this was such a fantastic paper pad and theme to choose for my first go around with this, because it's just a lot of fun and wild patterns. Okay, so 12 by 12. This one is non-directional is how I considered it. I cut it at 7 and 5 is what's left over. Now, I wanted to show you and have you think about the fact that this could just be a 5 by 7 card base. If you don't want to make step cards, that's not your style, you're not into it, I get it. So with one 12 by 12 sheet of paper, you can totally make an A2 card base, a 5 by 7 card base, and these 3 are your scraps. So with that 5 by 12, I cut it down to 4 1/4 to 11, and then scored at 5 1/2. And there, you've got 2 card bases. You don't have to make step cards with these. You would probably want to reinforce them, and you would have scraps. So now I'm just going to separate everything that I cut. I'm going to separate my A2s from my 5 by 7s. I had already constructed quite a few at this point, so these are all my constructed cards. But now I'm going to pull in all of my scraps, and I have got the scraps for sure. So All the pieces that are wide enough to be a step, I'm just going to separate those from all the other pieces right now. And what I'm going to do is kind of just marry these up with a card base. And like I said, all these patterns are just super fun. And so I don't have to think about it too much. And of course, when you're pulling from one paper pad, everything coordinates already. It's in the design. So this was just so much fun, you guys. I am going to keep going back to this hack over and over because I have so much paper that I need to work through. And I got a lot of masculine cards today, which was exciting, or gender neutral. I was able to put a lot of patterns together that just made for it. And there was a lot of like just graphic paper, different colors. There's not a ton of imagery here. And so that made it a lot easier as well. Now, right now I'm separating all my pieces and I'm just going by size. I don't care about the color, obviously. And I did keep the branding strips. Your paper pad might not even have branding strips, but they came in handy and I definitely use them when I find that they can be useful. So because I'm taking this mask making approach, then having my strips, having everything organized by size really helps expedite the decorating process. So now I have everything assembled. I had 24 cards, I believe, at the end of this process, which I think is awesome. It wasn't even a full paper pad. If it was a full paper pad, it could have easily been 50 cards. But I'm just going to decorate one with you today. And then I'm going to show you everything that I made. So if you have a bunch of 2-inch strips left over from your 6x6 paper pads, this would be a great way to use them in the decorating process because this flap here was 2 3/4 and the one on the 5x7 card is 2.5. So a 2-inch strip just works perfectly, like right here if you want kind of matte that step. I think this is definitely one of the masculine cards. I could easily give this to a man, child, or man very easily. I had so much fun doing this. It was just a blast. Now, I will tell you that if your step, like this one was a little shorter than the card base, it'll show on the inside, but because it's white on white, it really didn't bother me. And I'm extremely particular about things like that. But it didn't bother me at all. So here are my cards. And I think they came out so awesome. I love how 3-dimensional they are. They're extremely sturdy. They're super bright and fun. You guys, you got to try this hack. If you have a bunch of 12x12 paper pads and you want to make them disappear, I promise this is a fun way to do it. Look, this is a great masculine card. So much fun. And I used up all of my Dollar Tree stickers. I used up some of the Doodlebug. But I really just wanted some generic birthday cards. I did add some sequins. Here's lots of masculine options here. And they present so well. You guys, this is so much fun. So I think I had 9 of those. And look at this. This was the last card I made. And it's one of my favorites. I absolutely love it. This one is so much fun. And look at this one. Oh, I just think they're great. I did reinforce the inside. Check this one out. This one's a lot of fun. On the inside, I used a scrap and I ended up making it like a flip. Here's another great masculine card. So much fun. So this is where the So Punny Doodlebug came into play. Now this is the one that added the strip at the bottom. It really reinforced it. So great. So much fun. let me know what you guys think of this tutorial below. Please go check out Shiny Silver Treasures. She has the 6x6 version of this for you, and she's extremely creative. So if you like out-of-the-box creativity, she's someone to watch. So thank you so much for watching my channel, checking out my video. I will try to have more of these for y'all in the future. I know this is what y'all really like, and just as soon as I can cook them up in my brain, I will. Or if I can share and encourage you to check out others, I will always do that too. Okay, here are my leftover scraps. My daughter took all the pieces she wanted and the rest went in the trash can. Yep, she's standing over there. She took a lot more than that, but she's like, give me that sprinkle paper. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.